Hi, welcome to the first video on your journey to become a free happy non-smoker. And today I just, as a first video, I just want to introduce myself and explain you a little bit who am I and what is my relationship with smoking, and more especially with stop smoking, so that you get a clear idea that yes, indeed, I'm a good resource to help you to become a free happy non-smoker. And I think my biggest advantage or my biggest benefit in helping you to become a free happy non-smoker is the fact that I've been a chain smoker myself for over 22 years. So every single thought, every single feeling that you might have about smoking, you can be sure of one thing: I felt the same feelings, and I've been thinking the same thoughts than you are probably thinking at this moment. Because I started smoking when I was 11 years old. I was in a very strict boarding school and smoking was completely forbidden. And I believe that that is one of the reasons why I started smoking, because it was forbidden and I was curious and I wanted to be part of the group together with my other friends, and I wanted to impress the girls and things like that. So that if I look back at how I started smoking, I feel that are the most important things that made me start smoking those very first cigarettes. So I don't know how it was in your life, what were exactly the circumstances in which that you became a smoker, but one thing I do know: you never choose to become a chain smoker, right? You just were curious about smoking and about the cigarette because your parents did it, your friends did it, and you wanted to belong to the group. You wanted to be part of the exciting new experience. But it was never a conscious choice of you in which you said, I'm gonna become a chain smoker. It didn't happen like that, right? It was out of curiosity, and because of the fact that it was forbidden, that you might have started smoking. Right? And in my case, I became a very fanatic smoker really quick. As you can see on the pictures that I will show you, I became a very big fan of the brand Marlboro, and I really started collecting every single thing I could find of Marlboro. I wanted to have it. I went to all the sport events. I went to all the open concerts where the girls of Marlboro were distributing all the promo stuff, and so that's how I started building my big collection of Marlboro, as you can see on the pictures. And also to give you an idea, at the end of my smoking career, I was working as a consultant, traveling around all over Europe and the world to help companies to improve their bottom line. And just to give you an idea, at that time in my life, I was smoking about 2 to 3 packs of cigarettes a day. To give you an idea, in the morning when I would wake up, the first thing I would do was smoke a cigarette, of course. And most often I already would have smoked 2 or 3 cigarettes even before leaving my bed. And then I would go to the bedroom, smoke another cigarette, take a shower, after the shower smoke another cigarette, shave myself, get dressed, smoke another cigarette, go down. Most of the time, like I say, I spent time in a hotel, so I would go downstairs to have breakfast in the hotel. And my breakfast, what was my breakfast? Most often it was 2-3 cigarettes and a can of Diet Coke or something like that. So then it was 7 o'clock in the morning and I already would have smoked 7 to 8 cigarettes. And like many smokers, from time to time, I also was thinking, oh Eric, wouldn't it be better to stop smoking because it's not good for your health and it costs so much money, and there's you hardly can smoke anymore in a restaurant or in bars. So wouldn't it be better if you just would stop smoking? And every time I came up with a question about stop smoking, I immediately had an answer ready, like, oh yeah, but Eric, you know, okay, it's not healthy, but you're still so young, you still have plenty of time to stop smoking. Or I said to myself, yeah, but it's not the right moment, it's not the right time at this moment. I'm on a difficult project, and after this project, or within this in 3 months, or within this in 6 months, you know. Do you recognize that within yourself? Because I still was planning on stopping one day, but not right now. Right now was not the right moment, right? Or I said to myself, yeah, but look in your family, your grandmother, she also smokes 2 packs of cigarettes a day, and she's 87 years old, so the health issue in our families, we don't suffer from those funny diseases and stuff like that. But in the end, what I discovered was the following. Every time I asked myself a question about the fact whether or not I was going to stop smoking, I started to fool myself. Every time I came up with so many excuses why I still had to continue for a little while. But then I realized I was just fooling myself. I was telling myself little stories. And why was I telling myself little stories? Because honestly, deep inside my heart, I was very afraid. I was afraid to stop smoking. I was afraid about all the things that were going to happen once that I would have stopped smoking. I really was afraid of that. And I come back to that in another video. We will go deeper into the fears and doubts that a smoker has when he is thinking about stop smoking. Because I can imagine that you too, from time to time, have doubts when you think about stop smoking. Maybe you are making the same excuses as I was making in the past when you were thinking about stop smoking, right? And so I discovered that I was fooling myself, and I said, Eric, this has to stop. And at that point in time, I asked myself a very simple question. And the question was exactly like this. I will still remember, I was at that point in time, I was on a project in Denmark, I was in Copenhagen, and I was sitting in my hotel, and I still see the moment where I asked myself that question. And the question was as follows. Eric, imagine you could stop smoking without any discomfort. If that would be possible, would you then immediately want to stop smoking? And I said, yes, of course. If that would be possible, of course I would like to stop smoking immediately. And I continued, I said, if that would be possible, I think that any smoker in the world would love to stop smoking immediately. And that was a very, very important answer that I gave to myself, because it was for the first time in my life that I answered to the question, Eric, do you want to stop smoking? That I answered to that question with a very convincing yes, I want to stop smoking. On one condition. I want to stop smoking on the condition that I can stop smoking without any discomfort, without having the feeling to give up something, without having the feeling to miss something, without having to run around the rest of my life and thinking every time I see a cigarette, oh no, I cannot have that anymore, I cannot have that anymore. If that would be possible, yes, I would want to stop immediately. And so that is basically also a very first important question I have for you. If you could stop smoking today without any discomfort, would you like to stop smoking right away? And I cannot answer that question for you. The only person that can answer that question is you yourself. Like you know, I don't mind other smokers. I don't want to force any smoker to stop smoking. I don't have problem with smokers. If a smoker wants to smoke, he can smoke. I will never ever try to convince a smoker to stop smoking, because in the end it's your decision. Nobody can convince you to stop smoking, because that is what I believe one of the biggest mistakes that the non-smokers make in relationship to helping smokers to stop smoking, and that is to try to convince them, oh daddy, you have to stop smoking, oh mama, you have to stop smoking, or telling your girlfriend or your boyfriend that they have to stop smoking. They have to do nothing. You only have to do what you want yourself. And so the question for today is, imagine you could stop smoking without any discomfort. Would you like to stop smoking immediately? And I hope for you that the answer to that question is a very convincing yes, because that's the purpose of the journey that you have started. That is what I'm going to help you with. I'm going to help you stop smoking without any discomfort. But it's a journey we have to go through together. I by myself can do nothing. You by myself, you've noticed it. You've tried several things in the past. It didn't work out. So we are in this game together until the end. And that must be very, very clear for you. Because let's just for a moment look back at your previous, how would I say it? What you tried in the past. Let's have a look at that, what you tried in the past, and let's have a look at how it made you feel, right? Because no matter what you tried in the past, whether you tried patches, whether you tried gums, maybe you tried Chantix or Zyban, maybe you tried hypnotherapy, laser therapy, one thing is for sure, it didn't work, right? Because otherwise you wouldn't be watching this video now. And you wouldn't have called for my help to help you to become a free, happy non-smoker. Now, there is a very good reason why all these things couldn't help you stop smoking. And as you will notice also on the journey that we are going to make, as you will notice in the future, most of the reasons why it didn't work are here between your two ears. It's all psychology. It's a mental process, yeah? And it is not what we have been told all our lives, the nicotine on itself, because nicotine on itself, as you will see in one of the next videos, nicotine is not the main problem. Nicotine is the reason why you smoke, but it's not the reason why you find it so difficult to stop smoking, right? Because I believe that no matter what methodology you have tried in the past to stop smoking, I believe that there are always three characteristics that come back. And I really would like to ask you to listen carefully and to see whether it fits in your experience, right? Because that is the purpose, that everything that I tell you, that you can relate to it in your own life, in your own smoking experience, so to speak. And so I think whatever method you have tried in the past, I think the first characteristics that always comes back is there comes a point in time that you say that you forbid yourself to smoke. You say, Eric, it's over. I forbid myself to touch one other cigarette. That's the first typical characteristic of any method you might have tried in the past, right? A second typical characteristic is you have the feeling that from that moment onwards you deny yourself a kind of a treat, because you consider the cigarette as a treat. And now you forbid yourself to smoke, so you have the feeling that you deny yourself that nice little treat. Can you recognize that in your own past when you try to stop smoking? And a third characteristic that always comes back is that no matter what method you tried to stop smoking, from that moment onwards you are waiting for the proof that yes, you are smoke free and that it worked. You're waiting for a proof, and you're also waiting for the desire of a cigarette to be lost and gone. You don't want to have that craving anymore, but you still have it because you stopped smoking a week, 2 weeks, a month, but you still crave that cigarette. You still want to have that other cigarette, and you're waiting until the moment that craving, that desire for a cigarette is no longer there. Can you recognize those three characteristics? So the fact that you forbid yourself to smoke, the fact that you deny yourself a nice treat, and the fact that you're waiting for the desire, the craving of a cigarette to disappear? Because if you can recognize yourself in these three things, then you have already discovered a first major reason why all these previous attempts you made have failed, right? And it's all happening here. It's all happening between our ears. It's a mental process. And what I will be doing in the coming days together with you is I will take you on a mental journey that will make it possible to stop smoking without any discomfort, without having the feeling of missing out on something, without having the feeling of sacrificing something, right? And once that you could make that mental shift in your mind, you will discover that give up smoking is one of the easiest things you have ever done in your life. And it's perfectly okay that you still are skeptical at this moment. Why is it normal? First of all, you've tried so many things, and all these things have promised you that they would help you to stop smoking, blah, blah, blah. And look, you're still watching this video because they didn't deliver on what they promised. I will make sure that I will deliver on what I promised. I will help you to become a free, happy non-smoker. But like I said before, I cannot do this by myself. There are no miracles in the world. There is no magic pill. You will have to do a big part of the deal, right? You will have to invest your time, you will have to invest your energy, and you will have to focus and pay close attention to everything that I'm going to tell you, right? And in the end, it will be your decision. Do you really want to stop smoking? And do you really want to fully appreciate and use my help and coaching? In the end, it's up to you. It's like I say, I respect you as a person, I respect you as a smoker. And if you want to become a free, happy non-smoker, it's my pleasure and honor to guide you and help you on that journey. I see you in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.